Egmont said, okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you're joining us from. This is your show, The Niger We Want. With me here is Mr. Wale Olaiton, that's the international or intercontinental moderator of our time. Mr. Wale Olaiton, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vicky Omifolaji. It's good to be back on our number one show, The Nigeria We
We
Want.
want. Yes, yes. And here we've got our dear Egbon, Mr. Yemi Shodimo, joining us all the way from United Kingdom. You are welcome to the show, Mr. Yemi Shodimo.
Thank you, Doc. Um, Nice to be here. Thank you, Wale. Nice to be here.
Good to see
And
you again.
It's another
the,
edition.
your
I'm excited.
G,
I'm
your
excited.
your G is full today because we can hear you clearly. You can hear us clearly. Thank God for that. It's not 2G, it's not 3, it's not 1. I think it's probably 5, right?
I'm going to hold my fire on that.
Okay, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you.
And today we have a topic which it's long overdue for us to discuss, and it's all about jungle justice in Nigeria. So we're gonna get into it shortly. But before we do, I'll just get Mr. Wale Olaito to get started with our first segment, which is what is trending.
Well, thank you, Dr. Vicky Omifolaji. So you're welcome to your number one show, The Nigeria We Want. As introduced by Dr. Vicky, we're discussing a very important topic on the show today. We're looking at jungle justice and the impact on crime prevention in Nigeria. So it's going to be a very interesting one. So before we go further, we go to our first segment, What is Trending? If you join us for the first time, What is Trending is a segment of the program where we look at the trending social, political, economic stories in the last 7 days. So I will start with Mr. Yemi Shodimo to give you what is trending at his end. What is trending for you, Mr. Shodimo?
Well, the collapsed building on Banana Island is trending for me. It's a sad development. Just that the bit of relieving news in there is the official statement that no life was lost. But for how long we'll continue to have buildings collapsing here and there? I don't know for how long that will be. In this century, I will expect a lot better from all concerned, and that certainly is something that is trending, but it's not too palatable in news for me. I think I'll just hold it at that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shodimo. I'll go to Dr. Vicky Omifolaji now. So, Dr. Vicky, what is trending for you?
It's just something that came up that I thought I just want to use it to get people to pay more attention to their own health. Not a young lady, this woman, she's over 50, I mean, about to be 50 years old. Adewumi Adebisi Adenike, popularly known in the circle of supporters of Ashiwaju Bola Tinubu. This woman all of a sudden passed away. And in Nigeria, we're so used to saying all of a sudden. I just pray that may our soul rest in peace. But whatever happens to people that have gone ahead of us, it's a lesson for us to learn from, to start doing things differently. It was reported that for many years she wanted a child of her own, and eventually God listened and blessed her with I mean, she was pregnant by the time she gave up the ghost. Um, she had waited this far, and eventually that dream didn't become reality for her. But my as much I really feel for the family. I feel for the friends. Most of the friends, they were quite dumbfounded. They were not dumbfounded. They were quite shocked. That's the word. Everybody was shocked because this woman, she had been very active throughout the political scene. You know that played up last year, early this year till we voted, Nigerians voted. She's been very active, always pushing things out. And then for this to have happened, it was a big shock. But the question is, and that is to you and I that we're still living. Um, I just want to sound or note here that there's nothing like a sudden death. There are things that tend to happen within our body that our body tends to warn us. If we don't listen, then it leads to something like this. Common snoring issue can lead to death. Snoring, oh, he snores a lot. Oh, when he sleeps, it's like caterpillar is passing through. Little things like that we don't take a note of is a big deal. I just want to emphasize little things that we discount can tend to lead to death. That we need to start taking things more seriously and start looking after our health. Body have ways of warning us, telling us something is not quite right. Our gut is down deep down there, and there's a warning that comes through. It comes through in different ways, but if you don't listen, it happens, like that. Oh, she just collapsed. Oh, there's nothing like sudden. There's a warning that if we don't listen, by going to a doctor, a physician that knows what they are doing, to run a test, to be able to tell us what we can't see physically. Because what we can't see physically can be shown in the blood test. It can be shown in the poo test. It can be shown in so many other tests. So that's just what I want us to. I just it's just like let's learn from what happened to somebody else.
Sorry, Wally.
Okay.
I'll just take a quick one. Thank you so much, Doc, for that wonderful advice. I sincerely hope we take heed of it. But something a bit worrisome spilled out of this particular incident that you just mentioned, and one now starts wondering what has happened to our humanity. There is this thing going that has gone viral about one very inhumane comment on the lady's death, with somebody saying like saying she deserved to die for supporting a particular political candidate against theirs. And frankly, I'm here to recover from that particular thing. I've read quite a lot of comments about this, but how we got to this point because of politics, I don't know. How some people found their way to the age of bestiality, I cannot explain. It is very sad. We need to regain our humanity. Politics has turned some people into something else. Let me just be that mild. But certainly there is a need for caution. We cannot hide under the guise of some people are angry and all that and lose our humanity. It won't fly. It won't fly. It is sad. It is unfortunate. And I sincerely hope the person that made that comment, that posted that thing, would have a rethink in his privacy, in his research, and probably do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shodimo, on that very reflective mode. I woke up this morning and I just saw a lot of things online about this particular lady. And even though I follow a lot of people that are politically linked, I haven't really had any previous knowledge of this lady or even come across any of her comments or activities. But I went to her post, to our Facebook page when I saw, the news, just to check it out and realized that we even have a lot of friends in common, a lot of friends within that political circle that I know very well. And not long after that, I saw their individual post, just announcing her death and obviously sending, the condolences to to our family. And on behalf of everyone on this show, we would like to sincerely, because I think she's even linked to one of Egmon's friend, because I saw this sister BC Kufuruji Adegbite. I saw something on her page as well this morning. So I was just thinking there could be a family link there. I'm not 100% sure, but I saw something on her page about it. I sense the level. May her soul rest in perfect peace, and may the good Lord console our family and everyone she left behind. I was thinking around the same line with Mr. Shodimo earlier in the week, and I wrote something about I'll be more specific, because even when you're talking about people fight, it's just between Yoruba and Igbo now. Let me just be very direct and specific. So if you see posts about comments, about political comments, people dragging, showing you car today, you see 90% of Igbo extraction. If you see 90 people dragging Shimamanda, you see 90% or more of Yoruba, extraction. So obviously there's this Cold War, going on between Yoruba and Igbo, and I think it's getting to a very crisis point that I think leadership on both sides, social-cultural and political leadership on both sides, they can't just pretend again. They need to call people to order and probably initiate some, meetings to try and douse, the tension. It's getting really, really high. And I think it's just around what, psychologists call narcissism of minor differences. It's just a concept whereby whatever differences exist between groups of people is being magnified. Whatever differences is being magnified and manipulated to suit whatever agenda people, trying to have. In this case, just a political agenda. And that is what we are witnessing. Igbo and Yoruba, we have our differences as a people, but we also have, enough in common. But we've magnified whatever differences now, and it's just going crazy. People need to do something about it.
And Wale on that, somebody is echoing. Let me just mute Egmont. Is that Egmont? Hello, Egmont? Okay. So
I'm with you.
All right. You see, when you look at even our Yoruba Heritage Association, I'm not sure if you remember. I'm not a member, but my husband is a member. He read something and he gave me his phone to look at it. And it's quite discerning what I read on that page. Based on all this political stuff and Igbo and Yoruba, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. These are Yoruba people. Some were married to Igbo, but the way, oh my gosh, it's quite a shock to my system that what's happening with Nigeria. And these are people that are not even living in Nigeria. These are people that are living here. How many of us are here? But when you go to that WhatsApp page, it's like a battleground. These are adults. I'm not talking about 10, 15-year-old people. These are married, able men and women. The way they talk to each other and drag each other on that page, it's it's a shock to me. Because yes, when you fight, you see somebody and you fight physically, is when you do that even online, it's the same thing. You might not be doing it physically, but you're hiding behind your keyboard and you're typing all this rubbish and just dragging people and making people feel low. Imagine somebody, a male adult married man, saying to a married woman at Keromero on that platform, because he's married to an Igbo woman, and then this woman had her own thing, and there was this clash, and there were clashes of words. It was terrible. And this is not, this is just a platform mainly for Yoruba people.
Well, now I must say that I've seen what Dr. Vicky is talking about on some other platforms. And it's shocking that it's a so-called elites that you find doing this. The average man on the street there, the grassroots, is not involved in this. Their rubbish. That's the honest truth. And it is more saddening with the fact that there is very shallow knowledge displayed by these so-called elites. And I mean shallow. And you now find out, you find out that that is what they spread. The bile, that's what you see being displayed. And you now wonder, what are these people handing over to their children? You want to put the nation on fire and run to where? I only pray that good sense and reasoning will prevail. But frankly, just as Wale said, the leadership of the various ethnic groups need to do something positive about this.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Tajudeen. But I quickly respond because I have to say strong link to the Yoruba Association. I was at the time the leader of that group, here in Melbourne. And I'm part of the WhatsApp group. In most of the groups, I'm not very active. That's just my own way of just, I know I've got a few platforms where I'm active. I can express my opinions in writing on Facebook. That's enough for me. And I have this platform to really talk once in a week. So in most platforms, I'm a very, very passive. But I'm aware of what you spoke about. And I'm aware also, with in fairness to the leadership of the association, I'm aware that they did something administratively.
But that was almost too late. Okay. Almost too late.
So I'm aware that they acted, they restricted people from posting on that platform. You expect that as adults here at our level of education and exposure, you will expect some level of decorum. Exactly. So I think what they did was just to, I think for 24 or 48 hours, I'm not so sure, the admin took over that everything has to go through an admin to approve before, which is, to me, is enough lesson on people to actually reflect. If at this level, we're in a group and we can't actually express our opinions and someone needs to really look at it before they allow it, that says something. But in fairness to the leadership, they did what they had to do. And I think, maybe the way I look at it is that we have Elvis Nwachukwu, we talk about this on, is with us. We agree, sometimes we don't agree on most of the issues. That is fine. I have some few other friends of Igbo extraction. When I even first appeared on this show, it was because of my sister-in-law's daughter, Adaeze, that was, got involved with the, NSACs and all that. Like, that was when I came here to talk about what was going to us. So the way I look at it is this: if I want to really come out there for whatever reason, based on my ethnicity as a Yoruba man, if I want to go out there and start saying stuff, and I want to be seen as a very strong Yoruba man supporting my people, so I think of my friends that are not Yoruba, and I think of what we've done together over the years. Some I've known since I was, in university, and some things we've done together, some that we met through family relationships, and the contact we've had people that have opened their homes to us. We go to Elvis' home every time I'm there for party. And then you generalize and condemn the whole tribe just because of politics. So that is one area I don't get my head. We can have our differences. I'm for that. We can disagree on a lot of things, but we can equally agree. But if we disagree on politics, let's just be on politics and don't turn into this tribal or ethnic war. That is just my, my.
For God's sake, Wale, what happened to that communal feeling? What happened to, the way we called ourselves names and laughed about it? You can call you call you Yamiri, you call me Ngbati, and you laugh about it and we just rolled on. All of a sudden, it has become an issue. Frankly, I keep saying it. We don't have enough psychiatrists in the system. We don't. We need more. Seriously.
But Egbon, you're talking about those in Nigeria. Here we have those even in the diaspora that should know better, that they're not hungry. They have their lives all together. But instead of them to use this thing God has given us, the powerful engine, they're not. They are obviously not.
That's really a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame. Honestly, it makes me angry that people will stoop so low and be doing this. And it doesn't matter who started it first, because now I hear, they started it first. They started it first. They wanted to take over our land. They were claiming this. They were claiming that. Come on, let's all just put the weapons down and let's talk like adults and resolve whatever needed to be resolved.
Thank you, Dr. Vicky. So on that note, we move to our main topic. We're discussing jungle justice and the impact on crime prevention in Nigeria. Courtesy of our producer, Mr. Alabi, I'll quickly provide a brief intro to that topic. The menace of jungle justice has dogged Nigeria for many years, also called mob justice or mob action. It is a form of public extrajudicial killings where an alleged criminal is publicly humiliated, beaten, and executed by vigilantes or an angry mob. Some of the instances that readily came to mind include the Aluu 4 students who were lynched after accused of theft in Aluu, a community in Obio, Akure local government area of Rivers State, South Nigeria, on the 5th of October, 2012. I'm aware that is even a Netflix series. I'm sure there's a movie on that on Netflix. Another sad case involved an officer of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA, Tajudeen Bakare, who was murdered by an irate mob in December 2016 after the agency's patrol van killed a motorboy of a truck in Apapa area of Lagos. Just recently, 2 men were set ablaze and burned beyond recognition over allegation that they robbed a point of sale, POS, attendant in the Igodo area of Lagos State. The menace resurfaced last week in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, where an alleged yahoo boy was lynched in Akure after he rammed into people with his car and killed some residents. These incessant mob killings and indications that Nigeria is moving towards a lawless society with grave implications for peace and security, as innocent citizens are often the victims of this mob justice. So is jungle justice the way out of crime in Nigeria, or a perverted justice? So I'll go straight to our panelists, and I will start with Mr. Yemi Shodimo. Mr. Shodimo, why do Nigerians resort to jungle justice to punish alleged criminals?
This is where what I said earlier, comes to play in terms of inadequacy of the number of psychiatrists that we have. It's a very sad thing. Why? You now ask yourself, and you can hardly find any cogent reason. Some will say because the police can be complacent, that when an accused person is taken to the police, they find the accused back on the road, on the streets, without due court process and all that. Some do it out of crass ignorance. Some do it to revel, to enjoy themselves, kind of. It's like recreation for some people. And and I'll tell you, this thing didn't start yesterday. This has been on for almost forever. And it persists because there is no reprimand that you see. It persists because the policing system is lax. It persists because elders have abandoned their duties within the society. It persists because we breed a lot of miscreants. It persists because justice needs to be seen, to be done, to be served. If we had made samples, or scapegoats of perpetrators over the years, this probably would have abated. I remember that even as a young boy, I had news of alleged thieves and robbers being burnt with tires. No investigation, no prosecution. It's execution. And you now ask yourself, what is the difference between this and the animal kingdom? For some people, all it takes is somebody to scream "Ole" in a marketplace, and the guy that is seen to be running away from that incident becomes a victim. It is a sad thing. I don't feel proud to be part of that kind of community. But it's my community. So ask me, what as a person, what have I done about it? We'll probably get to that level in this discussion.
We get to that later in the discussion, Mr. Tajudeen. Thank you for that intro. I'll get to Dr. Vicky on that same question. Dr. Vicky, why do you think Nigerians, resort to criminal justice? Resort to jungle justice.
Jungle justice.
Over an alleged, of offense, or just matters that have not been proven.
All right. You've heard the word enialemu landledimu. Egbon, you can help me to interpret that. Enialemu on landledimu is the person that you can hold, that you have a bit of authority over, that you can deal with anyhow, anywhere. The people that are obviously stealing from us like this, and they are using the money to victimize, to shakara, we are hailing them. Somebody that stole bread to feed his family, we're stoning to death. Come on. And when you go back into even families, dad, olori ebi, can do and undo. Mom, pẹ̀lú ìkanra, corner of what the dad was the husband was supposed to be doing for her, he wasn't, or he's cheating on her and blah blah blah, will beat the hell out of the kid for little thing like this that doesn't even demand or deserve. The child doesn't even deserve, but they will overdo things. So this thing, OT, is so Yoruba. Is so much ingrained in our, not just in the system, but in all of us, in majority of our people. So it has removed, the humanness in us. Some people are more like they're tending towards, they don't treat each other. I mean, I talked about something a few days ago. I talked about when you ask for mercy, but you are not the one that you don't give mercy. You're not merciful to people that needs your help around you. Because if we are merciful, most people that are chasing these guys that stole bread, that stole food, and lynching them, majority of them will go to church and pray all night. They will go to church and scream like as if God doesn't have ears. But they are the one, they don't show mercy. No mercy at all. The line between being human and the other side, it's so thin for them that just
they go to mosque too and fast as well.
They go to mosque and they fast, but that doesn't stop them to stop and think that what will make this human being to do this. I mean, the Queen Mother, remember there was even a time she stole something, and they call it, I can't remember the medical psychological term for what she did. They didn't call it stealing.
Kleptomania.
Yes, that she was kleptomaniac. Let's be merciful. If we can stop and think that what if this person is related to me? All right, maybe there must be a reason behind this person doing this, but it's can we say it's the society? And we've I mean, since I was little, I've been hearing it. I must say, since it was little, it was hearing it. It's being part of the system. And why has it continued to be what people resort to doing? It's because there's no repercussion. There's no repercussion.
Thank you.
Before we go, I need to quickly put in something here.
Okay.
It has been established that a high percentage of such victims are innocent.
Innocent, exactly.
Because there's no proper investigation. The police said it recently. A high percentage are innocent, and mind it, all you need to do is have a disagreement with somebody in the community, and you can be set up for that. Before you know it, you are gone. It is not only the issue of stealing or petty theft and all that you find victims in. It goes to the issue of sorcery, alleged sorcery, where people who are alleged to be witches and wizards are stoned to death. Meanwhile, all they are suffering from is what you call dementia. People have been stoned to death for that. It's a painful thing. There was a case of these boys in River State, students.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the intro. The Aluu.
The Aluu thing. Listen, we cannot continue to spill innocent blood and hope to make progress as a people.
Thank you, Egbo.
Let me give it back to you, Wale.
Okay, thank you, Egbo. And just so a quick response from me on a few points as well. Doctor talked about, I think the transferred aggression. Like people are so angry, and when she said so like people are just angry and they look for the person that they think they've got power over, and then just to transfer that aggression. In some cases they misplace aggression anyway, as said, we're not promoting violence here, but at the same time, these same people that are transferring aggression on this guy that has allegedly stolen something, the alien people that have stolen their millions of dollars. And I can't recall in the history of Nigeria where a politician has been lynched for stealing public funds, or a politician has been probably stoned to death for stealing. I can't recall, and I stand corrected.
They were caught like this. Investigations were done. It was all there, but they only go to court and pretend as if they are dying, as if they had stroke, and that was the end of it. And Nigerians just move on.
And that's the same reason why they will steal, they will be tried, they will be jailed, they will find their way out of jail and still contest for the presidency of the Senate. Exactly. Names withheld.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I move on now. I go to Mr. Yemi Shodemu again. The rule of law presupposes that suspects are innocent until proven guilty by the court and entitled to a fair trial before punishment. Is the justice system in Nigeria under threat?
It's really not the justice system that is under threat, for starters. Because, yes, the justice system has its own problems, right? There are a lot of inadequacies in there. Human, material, a lot more on the material side. You have judges being bombarded with so many cases, and there is no accompanying technology to help them deliver. The atmosphere of judiciary or the justice system is choking. It is not as vibrant as you will expect. It is not up to date in terms of what is needed to deliver. Judges who are expected to probably have 1, 2, 3, 4 helps, assist aids, are saddled with probably just one or even nothing. You still find judges writing their judgments in longhand in 2023. Judges are made to sit in courtrooms that are hot. The air conditioning system is bad, or maybe the generator is bad. You have all this. So those are the threats, really. But it's only a case that comes to court that a judge will sit on. I find it very, I'm not happy. Anytime we have this instance, situations of jungle justice, and the police come out to say it is not right, blah, 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 blah. What have we done to nip it in the bud? How have we stopped that from reoccurring? Most of these things happen in the open air, and it does not take 5-10 seconds to do. There are screams, there are shoutings, there are arguments, there are miscreants looking for substances to use. Within that space of time, it is enough for the police to arrive and nip it in the bud. But coupled with that, you have misguided social media addicts who, rather than use that phone to call the police attention, will rather wait, record, and post so as to gain, what do they call it? Relevance and all that. They want to break the news instead of saving a life first. These are educated people. The woman in the village does not do that. These are the threats. These are the threats. These are the unfortunate things that we are faced with.
Thank you, Mr. Tajudeen. I quickly respond to a few things you mentioned there, especially around people using. In fact, that could also be like a tool for the police if they really want to do their job.
Yes.
Because with intelligence-led policing, they are able to use that video footage, online. They can use that and watch it for how many hours. They can pinpoint who is who in that video.
Wale, call the police before that stupid recording. Call the police. Call the police, save a life.
You
can still capture, yes, you can still capture those miscreants doing all their rubbish. But call for help. You don't have to know the victim. A life is about to be lost in the hands of misguided people. Yes, the video is helpful. That's something after the act.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just wondering, even
I understand we're on the same page, but I'm just buttressing it.
Yeah, but even in past cases, we've not really. I can't recall, and I stand to be corrected, that police actually using whatever videos they're able to gather to assist them, because part of what we're talking here is that because the act itself persists, because government have not really done, they've not brought the criminals, in this case, they've not brought the criminals to justice. That is why people are doing it.
And even those doing the recording, because it happened for them, this thing started happening, and then they pick up their phone instead of calling the police, instead of shouting, that they can be charged as an accomplice because you were there.
Accessory to murder. Simple.
Exactly. They can be. And if they should start doing that, people will take it more seriously. That I'm here, I need to do something. I need to do something, rather than for me to just take a video and upload it and get millions of views and what happens afterwards. Come on, we are human first. We are human first.
With all our revenues, for God's sake, somebody should just ask, where are the CCTV cameras in 2023? Where are the CCTV cameras? There's no way you are going to get away with such acts in Australia.
Because
in UK, you can't.
Cameras all over the place.
You can't.
But those cameras, they're being powered with what? Do we have that in Nigeria? Every time I talk about this, I talk about power. They call it power because it covers multitudes of stuff. If we have CCTV camera, there's no electricity. What's going to power it? What's going to power it?
Okay, let's try and move on. So I will return to Dr. Vicky now. So it has to do with this jungle justice and the fact that many people have lost their lives. In many cases, many innocent people, they've lost their lives. So what is the implication of this in terms of peace and security, for the people? So we have a lot of structural violence now transferring to kind of cultural violence, because people just don't really care. They don't care. The culture itself allows for that to happen. So in your opinion, I know you are not a security consultant, but just in your own opinion, what do you think is the implication of that, when an innocent person could just be lynched and killed and nothing happens? What is the implication of that for, general peace and security? Dr. Vicky, I can say Egbon already. Egbon might add a few points later. Dr. Vicky, to you.
See, with things like that, it makes you feel unsafe, because it happened to those people. It can happen to anyone, and it doesn't matter who you are. It can happen to you. So, which means that you've got to be careful wherever you go. You've got to be extraordinarily careful so that you are not the next victim. When we were in Nigeria in January, where we stayed in this hotel that is just a few meters away from Ikeja shopping center.
From the city center, right?
Exactly. And I said to my husband was having his nap, and I said, I'm just going to the mall. I just want to see what they have and just look around and see if I can find a few things to buy. Honestly, he was like, please don't go. Ah, no, you can't go. Nigeria is not safe. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm like, I'm just walking across the road to the mall. And he was like, no, please, you can't go. No, no, no. And I'm like, I will be okay. Oh, there are you both here, and they do go. They are walking to the place. My husband was like, okay. I got downstairs. As I was about to get out of the hotel, he called me and said, wait for me. I'm getting ready. We'll go together. No, 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 you can't go. Because news like that goes out, everybody, my kids, my friends, my sister from Canada was like, please don't go to that Nigeria. Come on, that is still home now. But it's creating that fear. Anything can happen. If it can happen to those people, they were doing their own thing, and what happened was they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they found themselves in that situation, and they were killed just like that. Nobody is paying for it. Nobody's apologizing for it. Even no amount of apology will even, resolve anything for anybody. But the point is, it creates that fear, that insecurity, that yucky feeling that in my country where I speak the language, where I know the culture, I'm not free to walk and do things that I want to do. I'm not free to move from one point to another because of what may likely happen. And it's not just for us, how about our children? I can't allow my kids to go, just to go and see where their parents came from because of things like this. That
Thank you.
huge insecurity and the fact that nobody is paying for any of this. The fact that the government isn't doing anything. The fact that there is no justice for all these horrible things that is happening. The fact that, it's just, I mean, it's when something happened here in Brunswick, a young lady that was recently married got killed. She was walking from work. I think she was a journalist, and she worked late, and she was walking from her workplace across the field to walk to her apartment. A man who had whatever issue, mental health or whatever you want to call it, killed the poor woman. Do you know how much the government put into that? I remember that somebody who was like an advert company or whatever she has was commissioned to create an awareness amongst non-English speaking background people, and I was one of the actors that acted on that awareness campaign. Are you safe? Am I safe? As women, are we safe? I was one of those people that acted in that campaign because the government wanted even non-speaking background people to be aware of their own safety, to be aware of what could happen, and to be protected. What are we doing? Things happen, we just sweep it under the carpet, we move on to the next thing. Come on, it has to stop.
Thank you, Dr. Vicky. I think, Egbo, you wanted to say something earlier on the implication of jungle justice on peace and security.
Yes, I was thinking about the image it portrays out there in the international community. I don't want us to be seen as animals.
Inhuman.
I don't want us to be seen as inhuman. I don't want us to be seen as beastly. And for this to have gone on for so long, it's very worrisome. One other aspect that one needs to mention here is the fact that there are some people that find themselves in that scene who are scared of physically intervening because of mob reaction.
Yeah.
It has gone that bad because you are scared of saying stop so that you are not seen as an accomplice. But that which is the point we are making, that for God's sake, call for help out there. Dr. Vicky has said it. On a personal note, one finds it that you want to look over your shoulders before you walk around, and that's not us. Who we are people that cared about each other. You are known within your community, that local setting, and you feel comfortable, you feel warm in there. You know that you can call for help there, and you get a response, right? But this is fast fading, and it's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But I still insist that the police should find better ways of doing this. Listen, this community policing thing has to be revisited and has to be done aggressively. I say, I'm here in UK, and I know that before you walk 100 or 200 meters, you find a policeman maybe taking a walk on a bicycle or something. He knows that community from A to Z. He knows all the corners. He's probably able to even identify certain not too familiar faces. Right? And that is something that we need. A police that resides within that community, that knows the nitty-gritty, that knows the corners, that knows the people, and could escalate situations, call for backup, call for help wherever. I mean, the power cannot handle such. We need to do serious police, the community policing. We really need to. This rubbish must stop. It must stop.
Thank you, Gwen. I need to put on my heart. I have a master's in criminology and criminal justice, so I can't pretend this is a very unfamiliar topic, to me. But I still wanted, a free flow of information, discussion among the panelists. I strongly agree with you with, what you said there around community policing is very integral, is very important, because essentially it's about community ownership of policing. It's and there's a lot of stakeholders involvement. I mean, stakeholders within that government, with the stakeholders involvement, they draw what are the priorities for police, using what they call problem-oriented policing, which means that within specific environment. So what might be a problem in, for example, in Lagos Island may not be a problem in Agege for obvious reasons. Based on that, they use problem-oriented policing to know exactly what are the issues within different communities, and then police resources are directed in that direction in terms of human resources, in terms of other logistics. They even have what they call a neighborhood watch. Neighborhood watch, they are all interlinked with the community police. I just thought I just said that. And also on this topic, let's put it in a bit of a context. So we are not saying that even over the world, there's what we call citizens arrest, whereby it happens even in the most advanced countries, where someone has committed a crime and they're about to run away from that, crime scene. Globally, there's citizens arrest. They can arrest that person and make sure they hold that person until the police, arrive. The incident we're talking about that happened on Easter Monday in Akure could have been a case of, I guess, citizens arrest, not the other way around, killing that person. What I read in the media, and I read Guardian, which I believe is very authentic, was that this, man ran into people, and in that process, initially it was alleged that 4 people died, but the police confirmed only 2 people died. But he was trying to escape from the scene of the accident. That prompted, motorists around that junction, Okada riders and all that. So they intervened. And in the process of intervening, they were, they saw some fetish stuff in his car. He was driving a Camry. It was what they saw in his car, shams and whatever, that alerted them. They suspected he was a Yahoo boy. And obviously from there, the madness was done on it. What they should have done was just to carry out a citizen's arrest and then subject this person to the basic tenets of the criminal justice system. It is, at the end of the day, allow this person to go through the court of law. And then there will be retribution. The court of law will decide whatever retribution, for this person. Sorry.
But,
yes.
But our people, they've lost faith in the court of law. We're talking about, okay, if you say, yeah, if this guy was a Yahoo boy, he's got the money to pay his way out of it. So people have it at the back of their minds that if this guy goes away, we'll release him to the court, to the police. Of course, he only needs to release some couple of $1 million, million naira, and that will be the end of it. So I'll just get Egbon, please.
My own grasp, Wale, quick, if I can quickly pick from what you have just said.
Okay.
Is this newfound, okay, maybe not new, this penchant for describing whatever is ours as bad, as evil. I'm talking about even whatever was found in a scar. They have not told me they found a human head. They've not told me they found fingers that were cut off some bodies. They said charms. What, for God's sake, is wrong with him having even having that? It is not. These are not objects that he has used to steal or to whatever harm somebody. What if those things are items that he got from a traditional healer for certain ailments? That's a different thing entirely. What would have happened if they found the Bible inside that car? What would have happened if they found the Quran inside that car? Would they have acted the same way? If they found herbs, for instance, in that car, what was wrong with it? We are Africans. But that's a different topip. It's just that it comes into context here. Yeah, because they found something and they went gaga.
Yeah.
Those things that found, how does it automatically make him a Yahoo boy?
Absolutely. There's nothing other
what is wrong with us?
Well, there's nothing other than what they found in his car. As I said earlier, best case, they would have just carried out citizens' arrest.
Hand him over to the police.
And, let the police take over from there. So time is fast spent. I'll get to Mr. Yemishodemi again. And let's look at the victims of, in this case. I mean, the victims are not those who are dead. We're looking at the families, of these people that have been innocently killed through jungle justice. In this part of the world that I live, we have what they call victims of crime, people that have lost family members or, family members that have suffered significant, socioeconomic impact through loss of a family member. They are victim of crime, and victim of crimes, they are looked after and they get compensated in some cases. Where do victims of crime, where do they fit in Nigeria? Is there any even recognition for their psychological loss or anything, or is there anything that you are aware of that the government is trying to do in this instance? And if there's nothing, this could be an opportunity for us to advocate for that, Mr. Shodemo.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. No compensation. No therapist sent to them, no psychologist sent to them. They are on their own. People will come, family, relatives, and others, church members, mosque members from their mosque and all that will come, commiserate with them, and that is it. Nobody cares about them. And I stand to be corrected. I want to see a set of victims that are compensated by government for such acts. None. It's the same reason why this will continue to happen over and over again. But just as I said, because of time, there is the need for us to institutionalize this. There is the need for us to create funds to take care of such victims. In most cases, maybe is the mother and children that are left. Education is truncated. Before you know it, the landlord is chasing them out of the house. The poor woman that was trading does not have enough to restock, not even enough to feed her children. This happens over and over again. That poor woman that was lynched because she was accused of being a witch. The family is left to grieve on their own. We need to do something. We need to put structures in place. And for God's sake, the police have to be up and doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tajudeen. You've actually delved into, what I wanted to ask in terms of where do we go from here in terms of, just overall tackling, jungle justice, and also in terms of care and support for victims.
Can we just quickly ask religious leaders to add these practical things in their sermons? It is not all about how Israel left Egypt. It's not all about how somebody stoned somebody. No, please. We need to put practical things in our sermons, our realities. People listen to them. Let us use it. It's not all about drop your offering and all that. Please.
Well, based on that, I'll go back to what I said I shared a few days ago, which was about mercy. Anyone that is asking for mercy, every time we pray as Christians, we say that goodness and mercy shall follow me. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. We are declaring, we are asking, we are holding on to that. But what happens to those that are not showing mercy to other people? You want mercy, but somebody that is hungry and now had to go and steal his or her family, you are not showing mercy. Now, when you now look at yourself, do you actually deserve mercy? God that is giving you mercy, do you deserve it? But he said goodness and mercy. You are claiming it. You're asking for it. And there are ways when pastors talk about it, when pastors preach about it, if they can get to people's conscience to stop and rethink before acting, then they will be able to be more merciful to other people. Those that are struggling, those that have to resort to having to steal to make something out of their lives, or they've lost hope. What are you doing? So Egbon said it right. Yes, pastors, instead of dabbling into politics and just messing themselves up, why not be more, be more out there talking to people's conscience? It's all in the Bible. I used this particular story that Jesus shared about a rich man who asked this man that owed him money to pay him his money. The man begged him, please, I don't have the money. Be merciful unto me. The man said, okay, don't worry about it. I've forgiven you. I'll let go. I'm not going to ask you again. Go in peace. The man left. He remembered that he owed him money. You know what he did? He had for his money. The man said, please, I don't have the money. I'm struggling. Please, I'll pay you, but I don't have the money right now. He asked the man to be jailed because he couldn't pay. He forgot about the mercy that he received. And that is the situation. That is the place where most people, most Nigerians are. They tend to forget that this mercy that they are asking for, that God is giving to them, they are not passing it on. They are not.
Well,
So what is, pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah. The rich man heard about what this man did and he wasn't happy. So he was punished, he was jailed. And I mean, that is a practical story for pastors to use again and again to appeal to people's conscience. As you are living today, remember, mercy will come to you. It will follow you. It will be your shadow. It will be there for you. But you need to do your part. You need to be merciful to others too. Egbon, you said it all. And if our pastors can be dabbling into politics and be messing people's brains up, they need to put that word down and focus on what is important, because our society is decaying under their watch. And I'm actually talking as a pastor here.
Okay. So thank you. So Dr. Pastor, Reverend
Vicky Omifolaji.
Thank you. So let me move.
Wale add GO to it.
Yeah. So before I hand over to Dr. Vicky to close the show, I'll move away from the from the biblical story. I'll move to talking as a criminal justice practitioner here. Look, the most important point is there is global recognition for citizens' arrest when it is safe to do so. Police will say, look, if it's not safe, police will not even encourage it. But if you have the manpower to be able to carry out a citizen arrest in a case where someone is running away from a crime scene, do it. Hold that person, call the police, they come, and let the police take over what they have to do. Simple. Essentially, criminal justice system everywhere relies on four main factors. Number one, we talk about retribution. The person who has offended against a society has to pay back to that society. That is done through retribution. It goes to the court, the magistrate or whatever, find him or her guilty, 20 years imprisonment. That is the retribution. And there is incapacitation. The incarceration part of it is very clear. Once that person has been in jail or is in prison, is incapacitated from doing that again. And in doing that, there's deterrence factor. Deterrence is that everybody knows, and that is what is missing here. We've spoken about that deterrence factor is missing. That's why when they send someone to jail, they make sure they announce it on the telly. There's a news items, there's on the newspaper and everything. Two specific deterrents there. For that individual, there's deterrence that, okay, look, we will shame you. Everybody will know what you've done and that's going to be in the jail for the next 20 years. But there's also general deterrence to whoever sitting is lounge watching the news that evening, that they can think about what that person has done and they will make a mental note themselves not to stuff up so that they won't end up in prison. And the last part of it is the rehabilitation. It is rehabilitation. But if you kill someone, you carry out jungle justice, you've not allowed the criminal justice system to even do anything. You've not allowed the criminal justice to pass a punishment. You've not allowed, even if there's opportunity for rehabilitation, you've not allowed that to happen. So that is why we need to allow the law to just do what the law is set up to do. I'll hand over to Dr. Vicky Omifolaji now because of time, to close the show. Dr. Omifolaji.
Wow, another great show. It's just a topic that we need to touch on because it's not right. It's important, and I want to say a massive thank you to Egbon for taking a break from his wonderful holiday to be with us, to join us and join his voice with ours about this topic regarding jungle justice and the impact of it on crime prevention. And to you, Mr. Wale Olaiton, for great moderation again. No wonder your title stands as the intercontinental moderator. Thank you. That was really good. Yeah. So to our viewers,
let me just quickly say that I should be heading home soon, sometime next week, to start preparing for the burial of my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hopefully, maybe I'm not sure if Elvis will still be in Nigeria. Then he can represent us.
That one is chopping his hair all over the place. Don't mind him.
At least when you get, by the time you get home, he will still be there. So hopefully, you guys will catch up.
No problem.
Eku Imura.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And yes, to our viewers that joined us on this topic today, thank you so much. Or if you replay this and watch this later, we appreciate you. We'll be back again next Friday, same time, same place. We'll see you then. Have a lovely weekend and may God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Of Africa. Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. The Nigeria we want. We take you me for yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. I can see what you cool. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. On Big Ocean. The Nigeria we want.